Yeah, I think that I would like to see that done. As I mentioned, there's a huge smog problem in Atlanta. These cars are obviously very environmentally friendly in that respect. I think having so many of these cars in Atlanta, in Georgia, is going to encourage the build out of infrastructure for electric vehicles and encourage more people to get them. I mean, I think right now a lot of people are concerned about getting one because they say, well, I don't know if it's not the charging stations aren't ubiquitous like gas stations are.
Right.
You can't just pull in and charge. And I think the more comfort level there is with the infrastructure being in place, the more likelihood there are that people will buy them.
Right. I could understand the hesitancy about being a pioneer about some of these things, but what I've noticed in the past couple months is that there's been a dramatic increase in the number of Leafs and other kinds of electric vehicles on the road, particularly in Atlanta. And I notice it now. You see other Leafs driving around all the time. And it's one of those things where I think that it's going to continue to build upon itself, and the demand for the infrastructure will be there. People will know other folks that have been able to successfully switch to an electric vehicle. And with all the benefits, I think that the state tax credit as it's working now is effectively a down payment on solving some of the problems that Atlanta's had with air pollution. So I agree with Scott. I think it would be a mistake for the legislature to get rid of the state tax credit. I think it's one of those things where this is a great way to incentivize a behavior that will help the state in the long run.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. Well, I've got a couple of attorneys here that obviously specialize in, particularly Scott Taylor, in intellectual property and some of those issues. Can we sort of touch just briefly while we have a few minutes left here to talk about maybe the Tesla case? I don't know, what is Georgia's position with respect to manufacturer direct sales to consumers? In North Carolina, for example, effectively you can't, you're not allowed to buy a Leaf, and within the state you've got to have it from outside the state. And this same battle is being waged in New York and Ohio and Minnesota and things like that. How do you guys, from a legal perspective, see that? Is this an issue in Georgia, and how do you think this is going to be resolved?
Frankly, I think that the requirements prohibiting direct sales to consumers are one of those vestiges of a kind of an older economy where we were protecting the middlemen, the car dealers. My hope is that that we continue to see efforts to change those laws and repeal those requirements, because I think that allowing direct-to-consumer sales is just a better approach. I don't think that anybody's got too many, people don't necessarily like lawyers all that much, but car dealers have their own challenges. I think that a little bit more competition in that area would be a healthy thing. So I would love to see, companies have the ability to sell directly to consumers in Georgia and in other states.
Okay. Are there any other electric cars, BMW i3s, Teslas, anything like that at the firm? Or are they all pretty well Nissan Leaf fans?
We're all Leaf all the time, I think. I don't think anybody here has, but I have seen at the charging stations. I've seen Teslas, I've seen Volts. I don't think I've seen an i3, but
I haven't seen an i3 yet. But there's a Tesla and a Volt, and you always have to stop a little bit longer and look at the Tesla. It's
a gorgeous car. Which brings me to the last question. Then, after 24 months, you guys going to do this experiment again, or are you going to pick up another Leaf? You're going to look at something else?
My experience personally, it's been so positive that I think I'm definitely going to be looking at electric cars. I'll certainly give a Leaf another look. The Tesla there's some interest there because there's extended range. It's a little bit little bit more of a higher end car, but it's
Right.
also $100,000. So,
Yeah.
you know, if Tesla can get the price point down a little bit, I might look at that too. But I'm definitely going to be looking to replace the electric car with another electric car.
Okay. So your experience, Scott Weinstedt, your experience?
I would agree with Scott. It's going to be hard to go from electric vehicle, go back to having to buy gas and the expense of that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited about where things will be in 2 years when my lease is up. I mean, this is one of those areas where the offerings, the capabilities of the cars could be entirely different 2 years from now. So I'm certainly going to be looking electric first when my lease is up.
All right, great. Well, guys, thank you so much, and tell the other members of the firm there, they're Leaf drivers, how much we appreciate what you guys have done. You've decided to jump out, take a leap of somewhat of faith here, although the technology is pretty well being proven now. But that's great. So maybe you can entice some of the other members, and we'll bump that up from 9 to 18 or whatever. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Enjoyed talking with you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.